Hello, it's Coach Martinez, a PE teacher at Lively Elementary in Irving ISD. We are going to be looking at striking, and striking means to swing something and to make contact. You might say hitting, to swing and hit something. There's several different activities or sports or games that you can play that would include striking. Let's think about some of those right now. Think about an activity, specifically a fitness activity or a sport or a game, that you use something to swing and hit something else. Think about it for a second. One sport or activity that you might mention is when you hold an item in your hand and you swing and hit it. Could be like golf. Similar to golf, when you're hitting sideways, is something called hockey. Hockey, you hit from the back to the front. What other sports can you think about where you have an item that you're swinging and hitting with? It could just be your hand that you're swinging and hitting with. Like volleyball, you bump and hit with your hands this way, or you can swing and hit with this way, or sometimes they even serve and spike it like that. So volleyball. There's other activities that you use just your body to swing and hit with, like there's a game called Foursquare, where you strike it and it bounces into somebody else's square, and they have to strike it into yours, so something called Foursquare. Can you think of other items? What about a short-handled item, something that you hold just here and it swings kind of in this mid-region? Oh, baseball, good one. Yeah, baseball, you're holding an item and you're swinging and making contact. Similar to baseball, but instead of two hands on the side, you use one hand swinging back and forward, or front and back, I should say. Tennis, that's right, tennis. Now, whether you know it or not, there's actually a lot of sports that have to do with rackets like tennis, so we'll just use tennis to represent all racket sports, but you have things like racquetball itself, there's something called badminton, there's even a game called pickleball. You should check it out. It doesn't really have anything to do with actual pickles. So we'll put rackets. Are there any other activities or games? There's another one similar to baseball, not only softball, those are kind of almost the same, but there's a game called cricket. Cricket, not like a little bug hopping on the ground, but a sport, cricket. It's very famous in India, but other places play cricket. You could also think of some yard games, like croquet has a stick that you use. There's a few other activities that your family might have made up some games. So you're getting the idea, you're catching on to holding an item and then swinging and hitting with it, or using your body, like in volleyball, to swing and hit and strike with. So striking is to swing and make contact. You could even say some of our martial arts to swing and then to hit somebody, like karate or jujitsu or those kinds of things. But we're going to look specifically at holding an item, which is called an implement or an instrument, but not like in music, a piece of equipment. So there's two different ways or types of instruments or implements, as they call them, a short handle and a long handle. Let's look at long handle first. That would be sports like hockey. Hockey would be a long handle because it goes all the way down to the ground. And when you use those items to swing and make contact, especially hockey, you're going to go from the back shoe and slide it forward to the front shoe. So the movement is from the back, forward, from the back, forward. And you're actually just keeping it on the ground, going from the back shoe and making contact with the equipment or the ball. So to try this on your own, you could have an actual hockey stick if you have that, or some kind of long handle stick, maybe like a broom or a sweep or a Swiffer. Those kind of work out awesome. Or you could just do something like a pool noodle that maybe not super long, you might have to bend over a little bit, but you could still kind of use for hockey. Then you'll need some kind of ball, whether you have an actual ball, or if you need a wad up, a piece of paper, that could work too. Or if you have like a grocery sack, you could wad that up. Put that on the ground and use that for a ball, or like a sock ball or something like that. Anything that kind of winds up into a ball, because you're just going to gently just kind of tap it around using the front and the sides of the stick or the hockey, whatever instrument you're using, whether it's a broom, and you're just going to try to tap it just around in different spaces, okay? You can do that same thing with a golf club or something to kind of go with golf. Now, hockey, you face from the front to the back, and you're sliding from the back of it to the front. But in golf, you actually turn sideways. We'll look at that a little bit more in detail. But golf, you're going from right side to left side. So the back shoe, front shoe, back shoe, front shoe, as you make contact. Hockey, you're facing forward from back shoe to front shoe. It's kind of like galloping and sliding. They're almost the same movement, but sliding is to the side, like golf. And then hockey is in the front and the back, swinging from the back to the front. We'll look at that later on. Those are called long handles because they have a long handle. They reach all the way to the ground, and then the ball or the item or the object is actually on the ground that you're making contact with. You can use, I also have an actual hockey puck here, or you could use some kind of small box of maybe like a food or a snack or something like Jell-O. I know it comes in a small little box. You could use that for a hockey puck on the ground as well. So those are called long-handled implements, learning to hit or swing and strike with those items. Also, you'll have a chance to learn this unit about striking with a short handle. So again, you might have something like this pool noodle. It's a little bit shorter. Think like something for baseball. You might just have to get a stick from outside, just from a branch. Maybe have some kind of toy that's long and slender. Like I have this Crayola toy. It's just a plastic toy that I could swing and hit with. Or something like a paper towel tube, that could work, boop, to hit with. Maybe something from the kitchen, like a spatula or a spoon, a wooden spoon that you could use to swing and hit with. Or some kind of just stick in general. You might have just extra. I found this in my garage, just a piece of PCV pipe. So same thing, you'll need some kind of ball, whether it's a paper ball, you wad up a grocery sack, or a sock, a pile of sock, right? And you're just gonna kind of toss it to yourself and then swing and strike. Now when you're doing that, you're gonna hold two hands and you're gonna swing across in this middle region right here. Not up high, not down low like hockey and golf that we just learned. Those are at the low. I cut my body into thirds here, the low level. Now we're working in the medium level. So think like baseball, or you might think like tennis. You could have someone throw the ball to you and then you try to swing and hit it when it comes, or you can do it to yourself. So toss it up and then to swing and make contact. So what you're practicing is just to be able to use the item, the object, the ball, whatever you have, to swing and then hit it. You're looking for contact, swing and hit it. Once you get better, then you can start aiming, maybe shooting for a certain goal or creating different points, and we'll show you some of those activities later, okay? So that's called short handle. And then also I told you about racketed sports, kind of the same, similar swinging motion as baseball. And then we're gonna use a tennis racket to represent all racketed sports. So you might have a different kind of racket, like used for racquetball, or some kind of paddle for like table tennis, or ping pong it's called sometimes. So a racketed sport, also there's one that's a little bit longer and skinnier called badminton. And so same thing when you're doing this is called the face of it, just like you have a face, a neck, just like you have a neck, and then this down here would be the body, just like you have a body. So that's how you use it. You're gonna hold it like almost like you're shaking hands. Hello, Mr. Racket. And then your thumb should go right down the edge right there, okay? So basically like you're shaking hands with it. Now when you do that, you should see the edge right here, not the face. So I don't want it turned like this looking at me. Ah, that's scary, okay. Put your thumb right down that racket right there, and you kind of hold it like out in front of you in the middle. Then, when you're learning racketed sports, you can turn to one side. When you have your forearm, the front of your arm, the inside kind of your arm, facing forward and strike, that's called a forehand strike because your forearm is facing forward. Or you keep it in the same hand, you just reach across your body and you swing towards the back. The back of your hand is swinging to strike, and that's called backhand. So you have forehand on the same side that you are holding the racket, and then backhand is when you reach across your body and strike. In tennis and racqueted sports, you go right back to the middle each time because you don't know where the ball's coming from, and then you swing and strike. Hold it in the middle, and then swing and strike. Notice I'm turning my hips, so I'm kind of opening it up just like you would if you were gonna go to throw the ball. Same thing, I'm just gonna bring it back and strike. So I'm turning my hips sideways and then flipping them back, all right? And we'll get a little more depth on that lesson. So this is short-handled, all racket sports, kind of swinging them in this mid-region up here, and then the long handle is more at the low area. You might think, well, what do you do up at the high? Well, there's a few sports like volleyball where you're striking the ball and hitting it up. You want the ball to go up and over something. So it might be a push like this. It might be a swing where your arm is above your head in that high region. So all this whole unit is working on striking, meaning to swing and make contact with something and keep that under control. There's a lot of different ways that we can demonstrate those key elements in our manipulative, being able to move and change things skills, such as volleying, like we talked about, striking with a body part, whether it's your hand, like in foursquare or volleyball. It could also be a racket sport, like we said, for tennis or other sports like badminton. Also, we have a bat, like in baseball, to swing and make contact. Balloons, that's pretty easy, right? You have a balloon at home or something similar to a balloon, like a Ziploc bag, you could blow up. And you could hit and strike it around, trying to keep it up by bouncing it. And then also being able to hit something like a softball or a baseball to make contact. So there's lots of things that have to go with striking for this whole unit. And then you guys work hard, find things at home that you already have, all right? We'll see you soon. Get working on some striking.